Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Gio and Hassan podcast, where we go everything esports, politics, and literally anything that comes to mind. Basically, I'm your host, kind of co-host. I think it's
Co-host.
a two-man show, right,
It's a
Hassan?
co-host. Yeah. In the very first episode, you said I was the host, and then I'm like, no, we're co-hosting, and now you're saying you're the host. So you know what?
We're co-hosting.
Co-
We are co-hosting this show. I am Gio, aka Ghost to Lane. Also, rebrand kind of self. My new name is Keep It Real Gio. That's gonna be my thing. That's literally me. So follow me there, and with my co-host, my boy Hassan, the legend in the making, the dude that makes things work and makes the world go round. Hassan, say hi.
Hey guys, my name's Hassan. I'm co-hosting this too. Gio and Hassan might be the official name. We're not officially sure yet, but we're still open to new ideas, new names. But yeah, so pretty much, simple. Talk about anything, everything. Why you should care about our opinions? You shouldn't. So if you don't, you leave. Simple as that. If you don't care, you leave.
Take him with a grain of salt, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop.
Or
Take him or don't. Who cares?
and then if you appreciate what we do or how we go about it, you can leave a comment saying what we can do to improve, even if it's already.
Absolutely.
So anything any criticism is always good criticism. So tell us what we can do to improve. Obviously, as long as it's not an insult, we will always consider it.
So constructive criticism, they call it.
Of course. And then to start off the day, I mean, today is 12:15. It is 12:15 a.m. 8th. The 8th of
October.
Yeah, so that should show you guys how low we are. We're recording this in the beginning of the very, very beginning of the day. And what we're going
We
to be
literally
talking
woke up just for this. We woke up
just for this. So
we
pretty
were
simple.
sleeping.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty simple. What happened today was the presidential debates. The vice presidential debates. Hold on, I actually saw something earlier. Hold on one second.
Are you gonna talk about the fly?
No. Something else. Something else.
No worries.
Huh. It was a fact check. On VP on
They're doing live fact checks now.
they were doing live fact checks, but right now let's see the fact check VP debate. Um. So let's see how many lies were told and by who. So
I like it. Let's go into depth.
let's go into that. I mean, to start off, it was obviously Kamala Harris versus Mike Pence. I don't know. I didn't watch the whole thing, so I can't say who won. So my 2 cents are irrelevant. But Joe Biden and Trump, they both said that their party won. So who's the real winner? I don't know.
We don't know yet.
So when Donald Trump says Mike Pence won big, and then Joe Biden says Kamala Harris won big, or made us all proud tonight, hinting that she won, I really don't know who the real winner is.
Wait,
Or-
how do they know who won though? Like, is it just off opinion? Like,
Yeah, it's an opinion. Yeah, it's opinions and
that's so
feeling.
dumb. There shouldn't be a winner. To be like, that's so dumb. I
Because
think
a debate should be a discussion of ideas and common ground.
we're benefiting the country. Like we're really trying to we're not trying to have a winner. We're trying to
Exactly,
be a
exactly,
better country.
and that's why I'm not really too big of a fan of the debate scene that we currently have, which is kind of like why
Why
my
is our
why
country
my
out of
idea is
war?
better than yours. Well, because it's a two-party system. That's why. It's
Why?
why because that's what keeps people in power. So when people are busy fighting each other, the people at the top, what are they gonna do? They're just gonna look down at you and laugh. Do you think politicians care about who the Democrat or the Republicans or sorry, rich people care who they are? No, because they're gonna give money regardless to a politician, and they're gonna get what they want. Very, very simple.
You're talking about big corporations, correct?
Big corporations, yeah. So to big corporations, it
Like
doesn't
Apple.
matter exactly. It doesn't matter. Republican, Democrats, third party, queer party, queef party, whatever it is. They're gonna pay their way into politics, and they're gonna make
But
what they want happen.
it almost feels like a civil war. Like, why does every single presidential debate have to feel like a civil war? Why does it feel like our country is constantly fighting ourselves? Like, why can't we just I mean, we can obviously debate on what we agree with, but like, it feels like, did you see the last presidential debate?
Oh,
It
of course.
felt like it's not
It
normal.
felt
That shouldn't
personal.
be,
No, no,
shouldn't
no,
be
no.
how
It shouldn't be
goes.
normal because it's kind of like the leader and the hopefully soon to be leader are going at it back to back, and it's kind of like if the strongest position in the world, which is president of the United States of America, the world's leading economy, if they're yelling over each other, interrupting each other, then what example is that showing to the common man?
Yeah, it's like it's so. I mean, oh shit, dude. I mean, so I'm not gonna lie. I do like the confidence that Trump had. He was a little bit rude, but he just felt like he was so much more confident than Biden during the
Sure,
debate.
sure, and
I don't know if
and that could be due to a multitude of reasons, which could be like Biden's mental deteriorating faster than Trump's is, so Biden has to speak a little slower, and
I'm sure.
yeah, dementia. I mean, I'm sure Trump already has existing health conditions, but then again, at the end of the day, like, it kind of comes down to like the president is only the face of the administration. The administration as a whole isn't exactly what the candidate is.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people actually overestimate how much power the president
The
actually
president,
has. They
yeah,
don't actually have that much power. I mean, they could sign off certain vetoes, but really have
they can executive order some shit, but they don't have the power that everyone claims they have.
yeah, like all branches have to agree. And the very like
Exactly.
yeah,
Same thing
it's
with stimulus. Okay, so one thing I'll agree with Trump recently. Did you see his tweet about? Okay, I don't agree with how he started it, but I agree with what he had to do in order to regain his ground. He tweeted that he's not going to be working with the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, on a stimulus package until after the election, implying every American has to struggle until the elections are over. And if I'm not president, good luck working on a new deal. The market tanked. The stock market tanked 3% in a matter of 15 minutes from that tweet. 3% is massive. When it comes to the market, it's kind of like the whole economy is losing 3% in value just by one single tweet. And then a few hours later, it was like 10 p.m. his time, 7 p.m. our time. He tweeted, "I am waiting for Nancy Pelosi with the stimulus package to give our people, Americans, $1,200. I'm waiting just to sign it." So he flip flopped real quick when it came to the stock market completely dropping from one tweet.
so I'm looking at this as more of like it's strategic in a way like, hey, vote for me and you guys get the stimulus check. But it's almost like prideful. It's like I'm not gonna help the American people right now until I'm elected. It's almost like
And
prideful.
it is no, it's also prideful. It's also buying the vote, cause like
That is a
so like
direct way of buying the vote.
to a person living paycheck to paycheck in poverty, who has the $10,000 in debt. This person is guaranteeing me $1,200 if I vote for them. I'm gonna do it right now. Doesn't matter what party it is. I don't give a shit. I just need to survive. I have kids
I
to take care of.
and I mean through Trump's like through Trump being president, you've seen like the economy has been doing pretty well, and I'm not sure it's just because of momentum from 2014 or
Hmm.
sorry 2016 to now, because the economy was doing amazing in 2016, right? It's just been super uphill,
Hmm.
and I don't know whether to contribute the success of the economy
I would
to Trump.
respectfully disagree with the statement of the economy doing better under Trump, because if you look at, so there's three important factors: cost of living, inflation, and wage growth. If wage growth is not if wage growth is not steadily increasing as opposed to cost of living and inflation, you're actually losing money each year. And under the Obama administration, it went up a lot faster than it did under Trump administration. And keep in mind, Obama did inherit a crashing
Are you talking
economy.
about wage? Did wages go up
Wages
during the Obama?
during Obama, it went up faster than it did under Trump administration.
Hmm. Which
So
yeah.
arguably, the economy is actually tanking a lot more than it did under Obama, because it was the exact opposite. And
So what you're saying, it's a bubble. It's not really the economy doing
it's
better. It's just there's more money being printed, and
it's kind of like, just because we think the economy is doing better doesn't mean it actually is doing better. You and I, our experiences does not define how the U.S. as a whole is running. Because I'm not sure if you would what you would classify yourself as, but I would be middle class. And just because I am able
what
to
what is I mean, I'd say I'm middle class, but like what do you define as middle class? Like, would
middle
you
class,
consider paycheck to paycheck like lower class?
I would consider
Middle class
I would
is
consider that lower to middle class. I would consider middle class someone who can afford to take a vacation one time a year. I would consider that someone who's able to have a 401k, someone who's able to save enough money for emergency expenses, and somebody who is able to pay their rent and live a steady life while saving money, as opposed to someone who is lower class or a lower middle class is what I would prefer to call it, which would be people who are able to live technically paycheck to paycheck, but that's because they are spending more money on entertainment than they need to, or more money on the side than they need to.
I have a different definition. I think lower class are people that don't have. I'd say lower class are people that they're either. So I define it a couple. The assets they have. So if you look at middle class, they usually do have a mortgage. They usually are homeowners. They usually have one or two vehicles, right? Lower class, we actually see them always rent because they can never make enough to actually get a
To
down
actually
payment for
own
a
it.
house. So their
Mhm.
income isn't high enough there. And then you can see that their debt is a lot higher than the
Mhm.
average. They're taking out loans, right? They're
Mhm.
trying just to make ends meet, right? Middle
Mhm.
class is a little bit more comfortable. They're still paycheck to paycheck, but they're but they do make significant.
They have loans, but they're able to pay them off.
Correct. Lower class is always kind of you don't know. You just don't know. I'd say that that's a good um,
Yeah, you just never know.
definition.
And also, it's kind of like if what a pandemic has showed or should show everyone is how disposable everyone is. Like
I'd
it
say the pandemic showed us what really mattered. I don't think it showed us how disposable. I think we always knew
because
how disposable we were, but we just showed
but
us
in
culturally.
reality, like to so a company like mine, AT&T, uh, they profited $20 billion last year. When a pandemic hit, the first thing was how do we save money? Lay people off. So
I think
that's
so. If you were a business owner, what would your first move be?
my first would be so where is the surplus of cost, and if I'm keeping employees, are they bringing me enough money back in? And at the same time, if I have to dip into my pocket and take out some profits just so I could make sure someone else's family is fed, then that's gonna mean more to them than it is to me. As a
Mm,
business owner, if I can afford to have a few employees, arguably I'm making comfortable amount of money. You could always argue, but if you're scraping by, that's a different scenario. If I'm making enough money, I dip into my own profits and then I make sure his family's fed because mine is already comfortable during a pandemic.
so I get where you're coming from, but where does it stop from sacrificing um your okay, so I know that like we live in a capitalistic society, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are super kind of like every man for himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm a business owner, it's my money. I created this company. I started from nothing. I deserve to make all the decisions and everything should benefit me because I took all the risks starting the company, right? And now that this company has grown to a significant scale, I have the option to help others, but I don't necessarily have to. Where do you draw the because I'm a businessman myself and it's hard to make decisions
Mm-hmm.
that go against myself. It's really hard,
It
even
is.
if it, but and unless you get like a really personal look into your employees' lives. But if it's just a transaction where you just see $2,000 a month going to all these employees, you don't really feel that connection. So it's really hard for it's really hard for corporations to tell like what they're actually going.
Because it comes down to a question of morals. If
Absolutely.
it just be okay, so think of it this way: if I'm making $10,000 a year, and my I pay my sorry $10,000 a week, and I pay my employees $1,000 a week, I have three employees, so I'm pocketing $4,000 a week because 3,000 of that is going towards costs. Just because if I have to take out just because I have to take out, let's say I'm getting the same pay as my employees, because personally I believe if you're gonna have employees, pay them a living wage. And I think they should change the name from minimum wage to a living wage, because a
Oh,
star
that's good. Yeah, minimum wage. It seems almost counter. It almost seems like, hey, you're stuck here, and we're not gonna like help
and
you.
we're not
This
gonna
is
help you, because think of it this way:
we have to pay you. you
the
know,
the minimum in like San Francisco, the minimum rent in San Francisco is like 3,500. San Francisco, they need baristas, they need burger flippers, they need Uber drivers. So if they aren't gonna be able to survive there, who's gonna work those jobs? So why not give them a living wage where they can live there, and not live a luxurious life, but affordable life.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. One thing that I want to talk to you about in what is the minimum wage in San Francisco? What is
Should be pretty simple.
pretty sure it's like $18 an hour.
15.59.
Got you. Yeah, I'd say that changing minimum wage to livable wage, definitely wipes out the. I mean, I like it's just like it's like a mindset change almost. It's like okay, this isn't what we have to pay you. This is what you should be. This is what you should earn, right?
This is what you should earn because to live here you need to make this much money to survive.
Dude, America is harsh. It is so harsh.
It is.
It is so hard.
It's incredibly harsh. Hold on,
Oh my gosh, country is really.
I'm trying.
Terrible money, huh?
No, seriously, and then it comes down to everyone losing their morals because it's only about money. Only money.
I've noticed that so much.
So if we were to able to use, okay, so what about, think of it this way: there's a lot of people who are geniuses that can't afford the education. So instead of having corporations to hoard wealth, what if we were able to put the money into lower income environments and have the lower income students be able to get the same education as the rich people? So
Part of the reason why people in lower income neighborhoods end up staying in low income neighborhoods and resorting to maybe crime and other things because yeah, it's just the lack of access that we have. It's just high school, you get high school, but then after that, you know what? Actually, they did change it in California. There's actually free college, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I
think the first year is free.
The first year's
something like that.
Pretty sure you get a full ride. Free, I think.
I pay out of pocket because I get reimbursed by my work.
I think I pay out of pocket, but I think they passed it where
it's
you get free college. Yeah, but I'd say they're trying. They're really trying though. They're encouraging a lot of people to like go to college now.
But then again, it comes
having an educated population.
So think of it this way: the way that corporations are currently thinking of it is short-term profit. How much money? How can I suck $200 out of each person, as opposed to how instead of 200, I'm gonna suck 100 out of you, but I'm gonna make sure you are able to have kids so I can suck 100 out of them, and then I'm gonna make sure you have. And I should make sure that kid has another kid so I can suck another 100 out of them. So short term, I am losing some money. But then again, in the long term, a corporation is going to live forever even after you die. In the long term, we're making more money, about 50% more money than we would just by forcing you with less money.
Wait. Can you go back? I think you're really like jumping forward. Can you go back and just repeat everything?
Sure. So yeah, it can be. So I did explain it in a weird way. So think of it this way: you're Gio. You work. Let's say you work for me. I pay you $10,000, right? Or no, sorry. Let's say I pay you $2,000. But let's say I own a big corporation. Let's say I own. I'm trying to think of a company. Let's say CVS. Let's say I own CVS. Let's say that I pay you $1,000 every week. In San Francisco, you're going to be barely able to survive. So what that's going to mean is that you're not going to look to have a family. As a corporation, I would want you to have a family so you can buy more products from my workplace. So just because I'm paying you less right now, forcing a struggle on you is going to mean longer term, less money in our pockets in the long term.
I don't understand.
So it's
okay. No, I get what you're saying, but it almost doesn't make sense. Like
so let's.
So okay,
so it can be complicated. I'm pretty sure I'm stupid. You guys can call me stupid. So let's say education. Let's say education. So let's say we take $10 billion from top 10 corporations. They're gonna whine and complain. Let's say we take $10 billion and then let's say we pour it into lower income neighborhoods and promote same education that rich people get. So let's say better education is going to lead to smarter people. When smarter people are made or in the workforce, they're going to start working for one of the 10 corporations and eventually make them their money back, if not tenfold. Or maybe they're going to come up with a product to make that company $2 billion. So eventually the money is always going to come back to the company or come back in the corporation one way or another. It's more of a long-term investment versus a short-term investment.
So you're saying how corporations invest in you winning right now so they could profit on you in the
They do the opposite. They're betting on you losing right now because and they're betting on you losing right now and hoping or not banking on you winning in the long run. So it's kind of like they want to suck as much money out of you right now as opposed to letting you keep some and then eventually sucking more money out of you in the long term or your kids. It's kind of like a weird analogy. It's kind of
No, but how are they doing this? Like you said, the 1 billion. So they have $10 billion, right? They invest some money to one person with an education. They make tenfold for the corporation,
they invest in a neighborhood of lower
lower
income,
income,
and then
and
so
they give them high education,
mhm.
and then they use that education to work for the corporation.
No, they use that education to better the economy, so that way the more money is going to be circulated because when there's better education, there's smarter people, better inventions, better businesses, so that way there's more
So you're
money.
saying this is how you fix. This is how
Exactly.
you.
Yeah. This
No, okay.
is
Oh, okay. Now I understand what you're going. So, yeah. So, Lord, I really think that this is a much like this really takes a lot of um you're not going to live that long to see a result if you're a large corporation and you want to profit for years to come unless you want to.
You are, because how long has every corporation, how long has Walmart been around, how long has Tesla been around, how long has Toyota, Ford, Chevy, how long
I
have they
have a
been
weird
around?
philosophy where I don't really care. Okay, they must really care about their company a lot to jeopardize other humans' lives in order to benefit their company, not even their livelihood, because they're set, right?
Correct, they're set. But the thing
Okay,
is, like,
this is really. I mean, I get how like corporations put you down by making sure that you're not educated, so that way you could keep on making the mistakes that you're making, and keep on feeding into their 200 IQ, schemes, their pyramid schemes and all
mm,
that. Yeah.
yeah,
Um, and their credit cards, the debt, right? All that they keep you on it. That's actually why the school system doesn't educate you on money. That's actually
because
why.
they want to keep you on your
Keep the
toes.
economy. Yeah, they want you to make. They want you stay. Actually, that is literally that's what I yeah. I understand now. But dang, this is like really really.
It's
It's
complex.
really evil, dude. It's
It is
really
it is
no. It's
evil.
not even. It's not even like. That's just not right, dude. I don't know.
Because when in reality, when you think about it, it only helps the corporations when they can suck as much money out of you as quick as possible.
But you don't know like how your decision of I mean obviously corporations aren't going to just educate 10 or they're not just going to fund random neighborhoods with $10 billion. That's literally it's actually the government that's evil, not the corporations. Because
Mm,
government can be like, hey, you're making all this money. Use this money that our country provided you, the people provided you. Because in reality, all the money that businesses you make come from the people, right?
so
The government
mhm.
says, hey, you're providing a service. This is great, but the amount of money you're making is too much and it's unproportional to the amount of value you're giving. It's almost yeah, you're providing this much value, but it needs to benefit society as well because
100%.
yeah,
It
so
comes down to like a wealth tax. If someone is making so like Joe Biden's tax, where if someone is making over $400,000, they should be taxed at a higher rate. So yes, the government is also evil. So because they allow these loopholes like lawyers, and they allow Trump to pay 750 in taxes. So
um,
it comes down to both parties being evil. One has moral issues, and I mean they both have moral issues but then again, it's kind of like it's harder to change the system right now than when it was currently built.
I don't think Jeff Bezos should be worth $200 billion.
100%. No. Like, the stock market does not. The stock market does not represent the economy 100%.
It's kind of absurd, dude. $2 billion. What the hell?
$200 billion. Dude, do you know how much that is?
Wait, what is 200? What is the average salary? It's like 50 grand, 40.
55 grand in US.
So how many times is that? Do I just divide?
Oh my god, dude. But the thing, okay, like I said, but most of it is assets in his company.
I mean, obviously he doesn't have access to $2 billion.
No, no, no. There's no way he has access to. He probably has like, I would say at the very, 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 very most, 500 million to $1 billion is sitting in his bank.
I'd
No,
say he's more.
no, because the thing is, if it sits in his bank, he's not making any money. When it sits in the stock market,
All right, so let's just say this. Okay, look, I think he has billions in his emergency fund. I think because if you're the richest person in the world, bro, things can freaking change just like that,
but tell
right?
me
The
this.
government passes a bill, they take half your money. The something like obviously that's kind of unrealistic, but it can
Unheard of,
happen.
yeah. Which
Um,
Tell me this. In what situation would you ever need more than, let's say, 50 million?
actually, this is where tax write-offs. Actually, I don't think he's
Exactly.
ever going to be in a situation where he
Where you
needs.
need 50 billion, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think so. $170 billion, dude. That's a freaking lot of money.
That's a,
That's
that's
a
a
lot of money.
lot of money, dude.
Like how much, like one person possesses all that money, right? Like it's like because if he closes Amazon tomorrow and sells all his assets, he'll have that income. Kind of. Nobody
But
can afford Amazon. It's so huge. It's such a scale. Like,
but
I don't know.
arguably no one could even afford Amazon right now. Like no one can buy out the company. All right,
Pretty crazy.
check your Discord real quick.
Gotcha. All right. And I think that's gonna wrap up the podcast for now, guys. We dove into income equality and the wage gap and how like corporations tend to be a little bit evil, but I think the government is actually the real monster in this play. I think they need to do a better job of educating them. I feel like, and it's so easy to educate people with like the internet being so accessible for everyone right now. It shouldn't be that hard to educate them, right? Obviously, people we have like limited control over what they can learn, but yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up for now, guys. That's the podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hassan, any words before we go?
Good night.
Good night, guys. Have a great time, or have a great day, boys. Take care. See you guys. Peace out.